blog number 4. The lecture, I'm going to be honest, I was a bit confused, slightly. I don't really think I'd really addressed this issue before, but we looked at the body observed. So there was again a couple of things that went along with this. There was the idea of the body as a social construct, and a look into psychoanalysis. There was also, in regards to art, it was about the art of being looked at and observed by the name. So we looked at the idea that femininity is a social construct, and it's a performance all about. This was an idea, a concept presented by Joan Rivera, that women pretend to be more feminine as to not intimidate the male. So then we went on to look at Claude Calhoun, an artist who identified as female but was biologically a male, and a lot of his work was about, a lot of her work even was about how sort of the first stages of the idea of transgender, and looking at it through a surrealist perspective. We looked at a couple of other artists. We looked at Cindy Sherman, Laura Mulvey, and Linda Sterling, who was focused on this idea of the male gaze and used pornographic images, creating collages, sort of blocking out the female face with objects or expectations of how they expected women to behave based on the time. Yeah, so it was all about the male, that just being observed, and I suppose it kind of relates to Adrian Piper's The Mythic Being a little bit. This expectation of what men think, how they think that women should behave, and how they actually want to behave, and that's sort of linked in with hysteria a little bit. So it's sort of also looked at the voyeuristic gaze and women being looked at, and I think that's really interesting because it's something that's changed in more contemporary pieces of work. Women are like challenging this sort of image that's been implanted in society of how they should look like as well as behave. And with this was based on artworks and a time where it was the men that were dictating. The women didn't really have this vote, and now that they do, now that they have more of a personality by themselves, they're creating these pieces of artwork of how they want to be perceived, rather than the male influence of how they should be. I think I want to do more research into this, and with choosing the hysteria hysteria section that's coming up, I'm definitely gonna look into a bit more through that as well. Okay, so blog number 4 is done.